There is and there ain't wisdom on the tongue of the fool. There is and there ain't better things to think if not to do. The crone showed off one good thing, moving the clouds in the sky with her ring. We had always thought it was an apple, just kinda hanging where you had to use your brain. There is and there ain't a moral to the stories that you live. There is and there ain't reason to remember to forgive. All the ghosts came back to town. We had only run out of tobacco on the way down. We had always thought it was an answer, just kinda hanging where you had to use your brain. There is and there ain't an ending you will someday get to see. There is and there ain't other ways to be. Here comes the fairy that lives inside, the only kind of story that will always survive. We had always thought it was a blessing, just kind of hanging where you had to use your brain. What the hell did you expect to see? A secret understanding on his face. What the hell did you expect to be? Prophet of the opposite of space. Shift your breathing unto mine. Never will you see before the origin of time. All that was and all that comes hereafter, just kinda hanging where you have to use your brain. Return time, you've already paid now. Do you still love what you see? Be cautious, dear, but don't be afraid. This place is a ghost around thee. Forgive them you love, forget them you hate. Forget all that you've chosen to be. You and all children are doomed to a single fate. This place there's a ghost around thee. Seek you through the garden, find your body woven in brambles. Say them, I'm a mess of miracle, a mess of love. I'm a feast for the angels. All the dead, all the dead were the young. body woven in brambles. Say that I'm a mess of miracle, a mess of love. I'm a feast for the angels, all the dead, all the dead were the young, all the dead. I lost my mind to you. You know I did. I'd lose my mind to you again. You know I would. I will come home to you. I will come home. I will come home all the way from this phone. Damn. I was headed for the stars, diving at a mirror that sucked me in and on and on. Time just went on and on and on. Been a long time since it was a long time since then. I will come home to you. I will come home. I will come home all the way from this phone. Damn. The winds have changed the dunes, just like they always do. My ragged breath, my numbered days, my ancient soul, they'll never change, ever again. Been a long time since it was a long time since then. I will come home to you. I will come home. I will come home all the way from this phone. Damn. You would have wanted to see it vanish. You would have wanted it gone. You took the hard road out of Eden, the razor wire and guards. Kitchen floorboard screen beneath the serving of your thoughts. We told white lies in stereo and disbelief. We kept on. From amidst oasis, I know the desert I'm around. From amidst oasis, I know the desert I'm around. From amidst oasis, I know the desert I'm around. From amidst oasis, I know the desert I'm around. You could have waited till something happened. You could have waited at all. The little tower could have reached up to heaven. Beat it a speculum back on the moon. The trauma of tomorrow blurs its ghost into today's kiss. There's regret in the promise. Things will always be like this. From amidst oasis, I know the desert I'm around. With my dying breath, I'll swear the desert I'm around. Like with the spirit of vengeance, lucky to live in a dream of a garden of wonders. From amidst oasis, I know the desert a mirage. I remember it was you. Couldn't shake it, couldn't break it, it was you. You probably just forgot we were astronauts with our guts hanging out, ballooning up. You were burning up, his cold hands made you hot, you were dying so he turned his head, you were gone. We're the undereducated backwater novelist, the unfertilized stump muddy oak shoe. A lot of anger is bearing down on you. We've got your kids. Short stretches of long roads, walk harder for what's known of how much up ahead there is to come. You were coming down from heights we'd never seen. When we met we were singing life, you were gone. We're the undereducated backwater novelist, the unfertilized stump muddy oak shoe. A lot of anger is bearing down on you, and what's yours? We've got your kids. We're the undereducated backwater novelist, the unfertilized stump muddy oak shoe. A lot of anger is bearing down on you, and what's yours? We've got your kids. I remember it was you. Couldn't shake it, couldn't break it, it was you. And so we came to the deadliest deadlies to learn how to die. Found goodness and truth like there's no such thing as a bad truth. Yeah, and Babel broke the Bible, but we could glean from the garden that learning it wasn't ever a paradise meant knowing it wasn't ever a paradise. Oh, the poison, all my lovers' empty scopes. Oh, apocalypse, alive. Oh, the knowing, all my enemies are bones, bones, bones. Oh, apocalypse, alive. Give it time. Crashed in a field of angels, were baptized in unborn flames. So when hellfire licked away from the engines, it made a ripple through forever. And hadn't we already stolen enough joy with our precious little telescopes, knowing there'd be an end to all things made, knowing itself an end to all things well. Oh, the poison, all my lovers' empty scopes. Oh, apocalypse, alive. Oh, the knowing, all my enemies are bones, bones, bones. Oh, apocalypse, alive. Give it time. We fought waves and dreams got caught on the teeth of the shore. We filled our cell with freedom songs, and though trade sorrow. Our hearts were strong in tidal floods with room enough to breathe. We swam in clouds of living things. We swam in clouds of living things. When the wolves came tearing splinters through our walls, we praised the whims of fate. The outside world revealed all yellow-eyed and clawed. We knew ourselves awake. We saw our lives as numbers made of dreams. We swam in clouds of living things. We swam in clouds of living things. We fought waves and dreams got caught on the teeth of the shore. We filled our cell with freedom songs. La 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 la. La 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 la. Swam out of your skin. Tide drew me back in. Tide drew me back in. Then he said, tide drew me back in. I didn't mind. All of the time, and here we began. I didn't lie when I told you that time ends where it begins. Or that the sky was unfolding when I swam out of your skin. Reached to touch the touch of my tongue, the tide just drew me in. All that I could have loved suffered young and we don't start again. La 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 la. La 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 la. Fucked in a place of daydreams where we'd innocently fled. Knowing we'd be forever, we are filled with dust instead. Dust to all and all there was dust. Then he said, all that I could have loved suffered young and we don't start again. And I didn't lie when I told you that time ends where it begins. Or that the sky was unfolding when I swam out of your skin. Reached to touch the touch with my tongue, the tide just drew me in. All that I could have loved suffered young and we don't start again. And I said la, 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 la. La, 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 la. Swam out of your skin. His glasses broke the day that he fled home. Swearing he'd remember even birth. Every stone along the streets he'd roam, as he unwrapped the paper from the earth. Los Angeles, Los Angeles, Los Angeles, Los Angeles, Los Angeles. Winter song coming from the west. Devil's offered nothing for his soul. Life without a mother a place that eats you whole. Los Angeles, Los Angeles, Los Angeles, Los Angeles, Los Angeles. Filtered through the alleyways and bars, we find the gutters of another town, where city light still blocks away the stars. To return would only be to drown, oh yes, to drown, oh yeah, Los Angeles, Los Angeles. To return would only be to drown, goddamn the stars, goddamn Los Angeles, Los Angeles. We tore through the garden with our guts in our brain, stole drugs from old family for selfish young pain, and Slim flew off to Europe without any hate. We all cried goodbye through the haze of old ways. You and me, we give up all that we got. You and me, we give up all that we got. We screamed out the stories that were stuck in our brains. Our genius cried out for wealthier claims. That one, she grew bitter. I'll take the blame. With no grand goodbye, we all went our own ways. And you and me, we give up all that we got. For the last drop of a dying love. And you and me, we give up all that we got. For the last drop, the last drop. We traded our minds for kinship. The drugs, they flowed like cigarettes. We changed our minds for wonders, scared of our own heads. And Lisa, 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 I hope she got saved. And you and me, we give up all that we got. I roll the pill around my palm from the beginning to the bomb. The only thing I know about me is that I'm lying. We know the structure and the form of the movie where we're born. Hey, I already read the book. It ends in dying. With all the power of paper, a fallen tower of coin, the I changed what was to who I am. Cut my cocoon, I guess, my transformation shoddy. When I come upon the pond, I touch the shimmer, taste the song, and lose all nerve except those threaded through my body. With all the power of the paper, a fallen tower of corn. The drugs make us safer, but a judgment comes joy. Why should you worry about the stories of the cosmos? Why should you worry about the stories of the cosmos? I was on about the stars or something, maybe about the desert. Miracle after miracle, and what sent them to me? You said I want someone to take care of me without trying to make me better. Say you are the madness inside your heart. Do what's for your own good. You are the madness inside your heart. Don't seek to destroy it. 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 only speaks through silent pictures in your skull, if the visions make the earth itself seem young, if you ever knew the reason when the story took control, would you think that only truth could move your tongue? And what flows through all things will also flow through none. Did you come from a garden? Will you come to one?
Prophets are called true or false instead of right or wrong, as though secret truth could never hide in fraud. Never in your secret heart believed a single song that a human voice could reach a God.
And what flows through all things will also flow through none. Did you come from a garden? Will you come to one?
You will have me when you want me. You will want me when I'm gone. Have you noticed that this way will never end? Even so, despite a broken soul, visions of the bomb, can you lie to me in ways I'll comprehend?
And what flows through all things will also flow through none. Did you come from a garden? Will you come to one? There's no blessing in knowing riddles fall from above. Unravel your endings, make peace with your love. And what flows through all things will also flow through none. Did you come from a garden? Will you come to one? You said the air in here wanted your breath. You said the air was alive. You can't mean universe the way I mean universe. Even if you're right. And you'll hear my heartbeat over the wind. And the end of all things is coming for all things. Even you, even me, oh. Talk me back into your loving arms. Talk me back into your arms. Talk me back into your loving arms. Talk me back into your arms. We're not out of this waltz, we're not out here at all. We've got God on our side, I've got issues with all of that. I will throw a brick through every single luxury I see. I'm not listening. I've seen how you count your blessings and how you count your lines. And I am serious to you. I am pouring into you. One word.
are far too advanced for mistakes. It's masculine and feminine, like everything is masculine and feminine, even you, Dad. I will throw a brick through every single luxury I see, and I'm not listening. I've seen how you count your blessings and how you count your lines, and I am serious to you, and I am pouring into you, one word at a time. Sailors, the scariest man who ever did favors for nothing. And it is hard to be Jones, and it is oh so hard to be Jones. You are faintly trying in your undying way. You are faintly trying in your undying way. How do you get from the dream to reality? And how do you get from the dream to reality? And how do you get from the dream to reality? Living and dying, get born in the dream. You are faintly trying in your undying way. Don't trust the road ahead till this is over. When all is said and done, you will agree. Don't trust your dying mind, don't think it over. Put all your faith in everything. How do you get from the dream to reality? And how do you get from the dream to reality? How do you get from the dream to reality? Living and dying, get born in the dream. Microscope might seem almost as black as our lungs. Fearing everything, dreaming impossible things, and of the great nothing, well, of that most of all. Counting our failings, 'cause it brought comfort minutes to spare. We had drunken were, been in the places we dreamed, the space between worlds, 'cause that's what they seemed like. Bared our purest condemnation of earth. If it does exist, hell will be worse than we have dreamed, worse than we've described or could describe. If it does exist, hell will be worse than we have dreamed, worse than we've described or could describe. If it does exist, hell will be worse than we have dreamed, worse than we've described or could describe. There are 3 exit wounds in my body, and one is in my chest, one is in my stomach, and one is in my hair. And I am pouring out of me, and I am pouring into me, and I am pouring out of me and into you. You are pouring out of you, and you are pouring into me, and you are pouring out of me and into you. People here I love with all of my heart, she said, but I will kill every single one of them to make you dead. And there are people here I love with all of my heart, she said, but I will kill every single one of them to make you dead. And there are breathing games that simulate symbiosis, and there are symbiotic love affairs, and those could never end. It's unfair to backpedal on lifelong promises, she says. Now if you just breathe out like and then breathe in. And there are 3 exit wounds in your body, and 2 are in your back. One is in your hair. And I am pouring out of me, and I am pouring into me, and I am pouring out of me and into you. And you are pouring out of you, and you are pouring into me, and you are pouring out of me and into you. And this way, I'll die forever next to you. You can't know the world, but you came from the world, and the sparkling thoughts can't be spread. You don't really know what it feels like to die, 'cause no one has ever been dead. If all of your thinking, it ends when you die, and the living is all in your head. You'll never know what it feels like to die, and darling, you'll never be there. Darling, you'll never be there. Darling, must be a God. Scared of dying, so I explained to her how there must be a God. I was 15 and it had been 5 years since I believed in God. She was 16 and I explained to her how there must be a God. Wish I had it to do over right now. Say you can't know the world, but you came from the world, and the sparkling thoughts can't be spread. You don't really know what it feels like to die. No one has ever been dead. If all of your thinking it ends when you die, and the living is all in your head, you'll never know what it feels like to die, darling. You'll never be dead, darling. You'll never be dead, darling. You'll never be dead. News had us paranoid and all of it empty, grating its flaming roar, tightening our eyes to flickering streams of emptier toxins, carrying dreams of our parasite destiny. Bearing down on us, fossils and rest in museums will be the worms also, and parents of dynasties trickling ever toward our firstborn offspring, bastard against brother, and all were a part of us once. So long ago it was. Sick and ugly, content in migration, withered and spun by the vacuums of distant coasts, along the way binding the wings of the broken, straightening their bones against branches hard found among those scattered on the ground. We were praying our torment would still allow healing, and praying our torment would still allow healing, and praying our torment would still allow healing. As comfort threatened us, awful power maintained in the shapes of words. The father made spells, sent you to shivering. Girl with the gun was not made more brave for it. Deep in the well, mumbling and angry there. If
you want some more, you're welcome to ask for it. Don't call the kid boy if you know what's best for you. Deep in the well, if you know what's best for you. The world's a snake, coiled up in everything. It was the words your gut believed at once. Your gut's a serpent, coiled up in everything. Wake up, kids, the world is made of monsters. This is hell, and we were born here. Wake up, kids, the world is made of monsters. This is hell, we were born here. Wake up, kids, the world is made of monsters born in hell. Guided by our sticks, over the hills and away from those dreaming, stiff-limbed around us, motion forbidden that. And still we chase the camouflage creature by its sign, showing us cancerous beacons within us, white sparks coming to rest on the pavement, shaking in the night. And even you and I stared as the ground began shaking and crumbling and crumbling and shaking and shaking and crumbling, split by the rising of a structure of omen and bone, omen and bone, omen and bone. And you were white sparks coming to rest on the pavement, shaking in the night, and even then we knew we'd die. Death foretold had been a habit among us, growing in our dreaming minds. Ideas clear and awful, and in our dreaming minds, ideas dear but ugly, spun our waking bodies round the everything, till we grasped the curling thing. Held the fragile trick of living tight in our frail hands. Down the path of night sounds muddy to the reservoir. You almost fell in slippery shoes. The almost full moon splintered by the branches above. I pretended to pet, and you swore the moon it burned. You blew a kiss for me at the bottom of the path of night sounds muddy to the reservoir. I combed wet hands through your hair as we sank into water. Down the path of night sounds muddy to the reservoir. You almost fell in slippery shoes. The almost full moon splintered by the branches above. I pretended to pet, and you swore the moon it purred. You blew a kiss for me at the bottom of the path of night sounds muddy to the reservoir. I combed wet hands through your hair
as we sank into water. We said, love life more, love life more, love life more. Come away from the still dead lovers, old excuses why we're here. I'm afraid of the accidents that fall outside a lover's care. Wait for them to uncover and stutter old excuses why we're here. Come away from the still dead lovers, find a good life while you're here. And we went down to the old brick house where without a sentience hovered, awaiting life. We were wild, thrust and shuddered. Winter came, and the dead still lingered outside a lover's care. In a dream, lightning flickered through your fingers. You were lovely and still here. There were times when I thought that there was nothing outside a lover's care. Winter came, and the dead still lingered, saying love life while you're there. And we went down to the old brick house where without a sentience hovered, awaiting life. We were wild, thrust and shuddered. We were trying to straighten and narrow. She was dying and waving her fingers. We can change, but protect us, protect us. Heaven take us, galaxy, galaxy. Heaven take us, galaxy. Heaven take us, galaxy. Heaven take us, galaxy. Heaven take us, galaxy, galaxy. Out the window before it can claim us. Traveling light as breath in and breath out. Let the thing coast and take us for lovers. Heaven take us, galaxy, galaxy. Heaven take us, galaxy. Heaven take us, galaxy. Heaven take us, galaxy. Heaven take us, galaxy, galaxy. Welcome back to life. We missed you in the abyss. Welcome back to shaking fingers, making the devil a pact. You will always come back, come back, come back to the sun. I say come back. The bandits still come around, flashing their pistols and twirling their knives, circling trails of fire, spinning through the night. What do you think when you think about age? I will agree that time is a trophy, circling trails of fire, spinning through the night. Welcome back to life. We missed you in the abyss. Welcome back to shaking fingers, making the devil a pact. You will always come back, come back, come back to the sun. I say come back. We thought age like age was a mistake. Even the ghosts on our retinas fade. The sky take death and rebirth. How not to move on a spinning earth. When we're finally there, it will all have changed. You can hide your eyes from the filament. When we're finally there, it will all have changed. You can hide your eyes from the filaments. Steel caught light between the bloody clouds. Historic always had only stars. Homeward spiral drawn with moths. Light tricks there still tunnel. When we're finally there, it will all have changed. You can hide your eyes from the filament. Beside the path, scatter sparks across the grass. Heads run against the clock, but still we fight with tides pulled by the heavens. When we're finally there, it will all have changed for the better, into nothing for the better. When we're finally there, it will all have changed into nothing for the better, into nothing. When we're finally there, it will all have changed. You can hide your eyes. Gentlemen, gentlemen, if I had known, I would never have stayed so long away from my home, which is now found in flames, and the children are burned. I'm sitting on the front lawn with the lesson I've learned. Sitting on the front lawn, sitting on the wet front lawn. I'm sitting on the front lawn, sitting on the wet front lawn, as the rest of the universe carries itself on. I'm sitting on the front lawn, sitting on the wet front lawn. And all things, and there's death in your bones, death in your DNA, death in the womb. There's no place like heaven, and everything dies, and you could waste your last hour thinking how you wasted your whole life. Sitting on the front lawn, sitting on the wet front lawn, sitting on the front lawn, sitting on the wet front lawn, losing your mind thinking how the better parts of you are gone. Just sitting on the front lawn, sitting on the wet front lawn. Steam So how'd you enjoy your rest stop in eternity? Take a dive into the carbonated waters with me. How'd you enjoy your stay in all of everything? Take a dive into the carbonated waters with me. Take a dive into the carbonated waters with me. The daisy would spin in the summer, growing old in the sunshine, growing fat in the nude. He fucked a dancer to hear her say lover. It's you makes me wanna dance. The sweet talk of aliens bent on destruction, whispering hangovers, please take more care with me. I am a person who is criminally tired. I am a person still perpetually miserable. Listen to the sweet talk of aliens bent on destruction, mania, hangovers, and this is what life is for. I am a person who is always scared of dying. I am a person still wondering what life is for. See them hiding just behind their lives, crippled by things done in a day, grown long when the now seemed eternal, vast and still. We are liars of the present to the last, by dead years curled in cobwebs thick and stiff, and ancient voices call us back to dream being loved or being ripped to me. But it's not all that bad. After all, it's over now, and it's not all that bad. After all, it's over now, and it's not.
Listen to the sounds that come along instead of song, instead of song. Listen to the sounds that come along instead of song, instead of song. Listen to the sounds that come along instead of song, instead of song. Listen to the sounds that come along instead of song, instead of song. Your tongue used to make the current that swept the disease away from our beds before you were broken in those awful days. Oh, listen to the sounds that come along instead of song, instead of song. Listen to the sounds that come along instead of song, instead of song. Listen to the sounds that come along instead of song, instead of song. Listen to the sounds that come along instead of song, instead of song. I will only listen if you, I will only listen if you, I will only listen if you sing. Sweet bud at the mouth of the stream, become of your sound. Listen to the sounds that come along instead of song, instead of song. Listen to the sounds that come along instead of song, instead of song. Listen to the sounds that come along instead of song, instead of song. Listen to the sounds that come along instead of song, instead of song. The bodies of bedrooms fall into the earth. With them falls everything, but a grain grows a world if you look long enough. Look long at anything. If you think you've got nothing to lose, knock on wood, till the dreaming that haunts you lays dying in tatters and tendrils that once were a mind. Stand tall by his grave or fall, trying. Stand tall by his grave or fall, trying. Even when your dreams brought gold, your mother's heart stayed broke. And even when your dreams brought gold, your mother's heart stayed broke. And even when your dreams brought gold, your mother's heart stayed broke. This hatred of fathers until you are one is more about loss than deserting. Of course I don't mean to defend what he's done, but all of the world goes on hurting, and the bodies of bedrooms fall into the earth, even the ones you don't bury. And the longer you look, well, the bigger they grow. How many dead will you carry? Oh yes, and how many dead will you carry? And even when your dreams brought gold, your mother's heart stayed broke. And even when your dreams brought gold, your mother's heart stayed broke. And even when your dreams brought gold, even when your dreams brought gold, even when your dreams brought gold, your mother's heart stayed broke.
go away. I want everyone to stay behind with me. I want the world to go away. I want everyone to stay behind with me and you and me.
I want a life. By which I mean to say, I want to be a prize fighter, and I want to be an architect, and I want to be a brain surgeon. I want to carve my fingernails into surgical tools and sew hearts into children. And then I want to solve a Rubik's Cube. I want to be the love of everyone's life. Do not take that lightly. It becomes important later in the story. I want to meet a girl named Matilda, a name that is a kiss and a lick of the teeth. Players take note, I just scored points with any girl named Matilda. I want to go on Jeopardy! I want to buzz in first on ancient Egyptians worship these animals because they controlled the rodent population, and say, how do you minimize an ancient culture's belief in the divinity of cats to make your own beliefs in divinity seem more valid? I want Alex to call me a punk. I want him to pull a knife. I want him to stab my belly as the studio audience cheers. I want them to rush the stage, hoist me in the air, and throw me in the alley to die. And that's where I want to meet Matilda. I want her to smoke like fresh air would kill her, lighting each cigarette from the last. I want curling auburn tresses, cliche to bounce around her face. I want her in jeans and a flannel circa 1994. I want an overbite and eyes a little too close together. I want her to burn with hypnotic light, gorgeous and prepared, with knitting needles and blood-colored yarn. I want her to sew me up as best she can and support me over her shoulder as I bleed in agony for 10 miles on foot to the hospital through slums that border palaces. When the team of doctors is stunned by the clotted yarn and the mess that she's made of my guts. When the young one says, holy shit. That's when I want to fall in love with Matilda. I want to be in a coma for weeks, and I want her to stay by my side. I want her to leave once to get a soda so that I wake up feeling cold and alone to see a news report about baby dragons hatching all pink and slimy in mountains all over the world. I want to live a life with her that you and I cannot understand. I want to trade love letters that don't mention love, twin peacocks forever facing with plumage unfolded, wooing with shapes and patterns. I want raging, shouting matches. I want to hitchhike across continents, setting fire to every place we sleep. In 20, maybe 30 years down the road, I want her to develop lung cancer. And after a hard battle, I want to hold her hand in the hospital as she trembles and moans and begs for a cigarette. I want to tell her that even with her sunken eyes, and even without her curling auburn tresses, she burns with hypnotic light. And then I want to ask if I am the love of her life, and I want her to turn her eyes away. I want her to say, there was this boy when I was 15. And I want to let go of her hand and leave her to die. I want to hate myself for the rest of my life. I want to spend every shaking night apologizing to her ghost until I die at the age of 106, piloting my jet fighter into the heart of a curling gargantuan gold and purple dragon. I want my last thought as I enter its body to be a delusion that I am a penis hurtling through an infinite vagina. I want to be cremated. I want my ashes released in orbit and to sparkle upon re-entry. I want a satellite tower to send a radio signal into space with the message that Earth is still mourning my death. I want a global apocalypse. I want all life obliterated except for the creatures at the bottom of the sea that live on the heat of the core of the earth. Did you know that? In 3 billion years, I want aliens to arrive and to demand of the life that has evolved to the surface of the charred remains of our world. Who is Arlen Lawson? I want there to be a heaven. I want there to be a God. I want to strut past literal gates through hordes of naked virgins with pearlescent wings all singing my name. I want to meet God. I want it to be like a warm mist surrounding me. I want to fall into the platonic ideal of a father's loving arms and weep. I want God to whisper, "There, there. There, there," in a voice that is soft, forgiving, apologetic, and Matilda's.
One, two, three, four. The night leaves rustling like the blood in your veins. The love on your breath sounds like trains. The things you would hear, like the code of your dreams when you spew out your thoughts through wooden telephones without knowing their meaning. Pale full of ankles, of muscles, wings to feed your flesh. What kind of heart makes this world? The taste of the earth in your mother's perfume. Oh my God, oh my God. Lingering afterward, fragrant with dreams and the code of your heart. Wooden telephones flush now with meaning. Pale full of ankles, of muscles, wings to feed your flesh. What kind of heart makes this world? Reaching through a memory's haze, a sparrow frozen in the snow, a life-bound hole in a tangle of nerves. At least this much will last. Wooden telephones sigh without meaning. Pale full of ankles, of muscles, wings to feed your flesh. What kind of heart makes this world? Pale full of ankles, of muscles, wings to feed your flesh. What kind of heart makes this world? And every word lets us in, takes us back and breaks our skin. Every word lets us in, takes us back and breaks our skin. Every word lets us in, takes us back and breaks our skin. Every word lets us in, takes us back and breaks our skin.
Do what it takes to relax. Loosen your tie. If your shoes are bothering you, kick them off. Consider my office a second home. There is no need to worry, Mr. Fairchild. Doctor? Dr. Fairchild, I can assure you that you will not be held accountable. What little comfort that must bring, let it count. You will not be held legally accountable. Sweet words. What are you going to do with your life? How will you make a living? I can't imagine that you would continue your practice. You might retain patients, but in your position, I would cringe at the idea of spending the rest of my life adjusting spines every time I placed my hands on somebody's back. I mean, wouldn't you worry about pushing too hard? Hearing that splintering again? That crack? You consider yourself a traditional straight chiropractor, am I right? You believe that you are correcting vertebral subluxation, fixing the spine in order to allow the body to heal itself. Mystical. Philosophical. Do you believe in God? Never mind. Did it all become real when the ambulance came shrieking to take your patient away to real doctors, real healers? I don't mean to antagonize. I'm illustrating. Heart trouble, cardiac hypertrophy, potentially fatal thickening of the heart. But the problem was in his spine. If you corrected his spine, the innate intelligence of his body would correct his heart. You see, when medical doctors lose their patients, it must hurt something fierce, but you held his spine in your hands, felt the notches of bone through that layer of flesh, felt it shatter, heard the crunch. That crunch. Did he make any other noise? Did he sigh or grunt? Will you hear that for the rest of your life? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Do you believe in God? No, I'm sorry. I've become antagonistic. I won't explain. I'm sorry for everything I've said. My point remains. You will not be held accountable. Solar eclipse. You can't watch the sun eclipse because your eyes would catch on fire. You must use solar projection. Please see with me fingerprints on Scotch tape gluing aluminum foil across the torn-out hole in the side of a shoebox, the sharp-cornered hole in the aluminum dent where the fishhook pierced the foil, through which the sun projects its phantasmagoria. Another hole torn into the shoebox cover, eye-sized. Please look inside and see the little dot of light. See the rays projected from the whole entire sun now caught inside what is a magic box. Know that when the dot becomes the magic symbol crescent, you will see the rays in everything, and the box that you created will blow away the mists surrounding creation. This is me at 3 o'clock and all of 9 years old. This is you listening to a recording of my voice and trying to remember a wonder you will never feel again. This is me at 4:12 frantic because this is the solar eclipse at 4:13 when my shoebox is still missing and I am staring out the window at the sun. I see nothing. The fated minute passes before Caleb comes in with the box and says, "I can't figure out this thing." Where his face should be, I see the ghost of the sun. God save us all from a wrath like that reserved for those who heavy the mists of creation. I grab by what I can see and shake the little faggot, screaming for him to tell me at least what it looked like, at least what it looked like. He saw nothing. A better answer would have saved him being thrown against the wall, saved him falling on the fish hook, saved me the terror that blew through me when he screamed, when he raised his arm and I saw the little dot of blood projected from the life inside his skin. No, don't tell Dad, I'll get it out. I try to be careful, but a spigot of blood flies out with the fish hook, an arc that makes me scream like the surprise blood in the werewolf movie at the drive-in when I was Caleb's age, when I couldn't look, so I stared above the bed of the truck at the beam of light that shot from the projector. Here is Dad, and here is Dad's fist squeezing the blood back into Caleb's arm as he grabs him and runs downstairs to the car. This is 4:30, and I am comparing the blood on my floor to the blood on the cover of the werewolf movie, bought with a month's allowance. This is 5 o'clock, and I am smashing down the fish hook with pliers. This is 5:30, and it is smashed, so I will leave my room. I call for Mom in every room until I'm sure she's gone. My eyes become twin suns, atomic fire spheres inside my face. It's dark when they get back from the hospital. Caleb's afraid of me. It's late and Dad's not angry, just tired, so I will please go to my room. I don't tell them I'm hungry. When everyone is sleeping, I wake Caleb and ask, does he want to watch a movie with me, please? We sneak downstairs and put the sound quiet. I make peanut butter sandwiches and Caleb lies on the floor with his face up to the TV, picking at his bandage. I sit on the couch. I feel bad when Caleb jumps at the part with the surprise blood, because what it's like to be his age. At the part of the movie where the full moon is eclipsed, and the hunters see the werewolf shed its fur. Caleb raises his head to look close, covering the monster as it turns into a man. I watch the shadow of the earth transform the moon into a crescent. The desert shone blue beneath the crisscross diffusion of stars. This is a line I keep trying to work into a story. It fills my thoughts as Kathy and I drive west through the night in the Rockies. We're 10 minutes out of Denver and Kathy's nursing a silent fury. She will calm down, but not soon. There are no stars. The mountains roll like stormy waves, lit by my headlights. We could have gone for like 10 minutes, says Kathy. I'm fighting the mountain currents to keep the van on the road and its lunatic curves. There's a drop to the right more pretty to look at than think about. The guardrail would follow us down. I'm not interested in the fight she's picking. She will calm down, like always. Fine, she says, just sit there and pretend I don't exist. That's not what I'm doing. You know that. It was almost 200 miles driving to Denver. On the way, we were both in good spirits. We were going to see some band I never heard of that Kathy'd been pining for all last month. When she's happy, I'm happy. That's why I came in the first place. I drove because Kathy never got her license. We got there and the band was loud but pretty good. She met some people there that dressed like her friends back home and they invited her to a party. Now it was already midnight. I told her she could go, but she'd have to get home by herself. The look on her face was brutal, and I thought she might decide to call my bluff and hitchhike. The last few months have been getting worse. It's so fucking typical, she says. Look at the road. Driving tired is driving drunk. We could have slept there, plus there's always the speed. Kathy, I'm driving. She's like this. She only wants to talk when I'm doing something important. She spends all her time with her college friends. Then if I try to write, she tells me she's sad I'm not paying attention to her. The desert shone blue. And what's so fucking typical? You, she says, you're an asshole. You don't like my friends. You never come out with us. You never do anything. Okay, A, this is totally fucking insane. The few times I have gone with her, they've all clammed up and looked at me funny, especially Kathy. B, I think it should be clear by this point in the narrative that there are things that I do. Like, for instance, at this moment, I'm hearing the shrill ghost hum of guitar. I don't want to fight. I hate your guts so much. She's like this too. When she's mad, she takes out her claws. The thing is, she will calm down. She'll apologize and cry, say she doesn't know why she gets like that. She loves me, but that doesn't stop the next time from coming at the splinter of an eggshell, towering over the curled ball of me, and screaming that I deserve every awful thing that's ever happened. Kathy, would you please shut up? Fuck you. Just ignore me and I'll fucking go away. The desert shone blue. The desert shone. The desert. This is not the kind of thing I do. I'm not the one who starts things, the one who throws things. I'm not the one who breaks holes in the walls. This is not the kind of thing I do. Can we please just calm down and discuss this like normal people? And that's when I hit the headlights. We will drive in absolute darkness until you calm down. As we approach the end of my flashbulb memory of the shape of the road, the words repeat. The desert shone blue beneath the crisscross diffusion of stars. When we've been shitting blood for days, we will not be embarrassed in front of each other. 10 days out to sea in a trailer floating on garbage bags, I almost burst my lungs inflating, supposed to be powered by 20 dogs saved from the pound to swim, but all 20 of them killed in the flood. I'd cut 'em loose, but with deflating bags, we need the buoyancy. Sally's a tough little girl chewing on a stick of dynamite to prove it because she saw it in a movie. She's picking at the wrapper and it's vicious. Stop glaring at me, Sally. I love you, but the last time I kissed you, I dove into the sea and swallowed until I felt drowned to get the feeling of burning alive from the inside out. That was 5 days ago. 10 days before the ocean covered the world, Ralph Shitweed, a former neighbor of mine, whose last name I do not believe was Shitweed, was yelling at me for tying his dog to my trailer, and I said, "Listen, shitweed, I've got a lot of dogs tied to my trailer right now. A lot." And to specify, his is the flop-eared dog poking its nose at yonder cricket. But shitweed, I've got a lot of dogs poking their noses at crickets, flop ears and whatnot, as you may well observe if you got eyes, which I can't hardly be sure of anymore. 5 days in the ocean, and I'm through the water, staring up like the giant at the bottom of crystal clear, running out of breath and stinging eyes, and wondering what'll Sally do when I come up for air. I scream I'm sorry in bubbles when I get a breath. 5 days in the ocean, and she's pushed me right back under with her foot. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a matter of images, words, and ideas and their overlapping rhythms, so let's have some practice visualizing a red-brown heart shape behind me, circumscribing my body, glowing and surrounded with sunflower petals of golden fire like labia. Stop. Curious George in blotchy watercolor running on a treadmill until he is toned, muscled, and disgusting. Stop. A tiny bunny running in a field of weeds and mud, barely seen in the pale yellow streetlights. Stop. Sweating in varicose cock, hiccuping beads and strings of ejaculate threaded with eyebrows, leaving snail tracks that dot air bubbles in the pores of a tiny nose. Sleeping. Stop. 4 days in the ocean. Night. I dream the dogs come back to life and crawl up the sides of the trailer. Sally tries to love them through the soggy fur and the menace, through the snarl and the viscous slime drool. It is my job to defend her as she screams, "Don't you fucking hurt them, awful man." This is only a dream. When I wake up, I wish I had a stick I could sharpen. 14 days before the flood, I'm packing my trailer with canned food and dynamite for just in cases, monsters of the deep, who knows. I don't even think to bring a stick. 15 days before the flood, God speaks to me in a dream, tells me to convert my trailer into a boat. He's gonna flood again. Well, God, how should I go and do that? Whatever way you see fit, which is how God talks in my dreams ever since I was a kid. I don't know. So, should I bring 2 of what I can find, God? Nope, just you. 6 days in the ocean, and I pull the trick that gets me back on the raft while Sally is sleeping. The trick is that I get back on the raft while Sally is sleeping, and so will not push me back under with her foot. For the rest of the night, I lay on top of her in case she wakes up and begins to think about swimming. She's not going to be able to lift me. I used to work out. The day before the flood, Shitweed is furious, grabs me and throws me against the side of my trailer, holding tight to my shirt, his fists all knuckles and all white. The dogs start barking. Shitweed screaming, "Where's my daughter? What is going on? Why don't I have my daughter?" And I honestly don't know. The last I saw his daughter was 3 days before the flood when she came by my trailer to pet her dog. "This one's my daddy's." Yeah, that's what he said too. "Have you read this book?" She's got Curious George Flies a Kite, which I have read. I explain how what I'm doing's more important than just her right now, the divine importance of tying garbage balloons and dogs to my trailer, and she walks away. End of story. 10 days in the ocean, I wake up to something muddy poking into my mouth. A soggy, flop-eared puppy lies on my chest, staring either at me or at a spot just to my left, depending on which eye you follow. My first words of the morning are to the point. "Sally, where did you get that stick?" She points, and we are saved. 5 days before the flood, Shitweed's daughter is making kissy faces at me through her trailer window. I say, "You keep acting crazy, that shit'll catch up with you. Then where will you be?" She smiles and closes the curtain. The day it all come flood, we watched Shitweed drown in the rising, crashing waters. He screamed out, "Sweet Sally." We watched him drown in outhouse and beer cans, not thinking of himself, and could not imagine a more noble death without first envisioning a more noble creature. 5 days in the ocean, Sally and me lying nude on our backs. Fat man and little girl staring at the sun. I say, "These garbage bags won't hold us up forever." And she says she knows. And everyone everywhere dies. And hain't no one embarrassed in heaven or in hell. And she says she knows. At least one thing I could say is, I ain't never had it as bad as you. It was me and Belle Cardinal walking down the dried-out riverbed, dirt cake split in geometric patterns, a circus tent revealing itself on the horizon, illusion of growing out of the riverbed, first a flag, then connected to a tiny circus that just kept growing. Belle had heard talk there was an old man there, wore a dress where if you paid him $10, he would take you inside a little tent and lift his dress for you. And what you would see then for your well-spent money was where this man had no penis to speak of. Could a man really survive if his penis got taken off? Was he born without one? Belle had been talking about it for days, how it would be like a dream come true to see that man's no penis. Except it was pure luck we got to. All signs had been pointing to no, because where do we get $10 each? So yeah, we were kind of bummed for a while. Then we were walking home from school. Belle found it right on the ground, a sooty, crumpled up $20 bill, and he got bright in the face and fanned out what he found, and we both said, "Oh yeah." So it was me and Belle Cardinal walking down the dried-out riverbed, dirt cake split in geometric patterns in a yellow and red circus tent growing out of the riverbed horizon, Belle with the dirty bill come wonder ticket tucked into his back pocket, and on our way to verify with our own eyes that there was a man who had no penis. Belle was telling the story of how he got taken from his parents because he burnt the house down on purpose with matches and paper towels. And they came home, he didn't even try to run. He sat right on the stoop with a bottle of wild turkey, the house in flames behind him, and he was all, "What? I don't care. Arrest me. Send me to juvenile hall for all I care." And they did for about a month. But that didn't even make him cry once, and I was like, that is so cool. We got to the circus in the afternoon. It was hot, so we got snow cones. I bought them with my own money because it was really like thanking Belle for finding the $20 bill. That was very cool of him to do. I got red because that's my favorite. Belle got blue, but that's okay. Belle's my best friend, but it's okay that we've got some differences. In fact, it's kind of cool. It keeps my mind open to try new things and maybe like some of them. I saw first the old man in the dress standing by his tent. The dress was blood-red silk with flowers stitched in thread all over. The man was older than I thought. He was like 90 probably, face like he stretched some tanned and spotty old man skin around a skull, little wisps of white hair that haloed his head like bits of string, and shaky. I was like, "Dude, Belle, that's him. I see him." And Belle was like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't do this at all." And I wasn't really mad, but I thought Belle needed to hear something like, "Dude, don't puss out." So I told it to him because I'm real good at being his friend and anticipating his needs and stuff. So he was like, you first, shoving the sticky blue 20 into my hands. I gave Belle my snow cone to hold in good faith. Ran up to the man who smiled at me, took the bill with shake hands and placed it in his black and gold purse, from which he withdrew a very clean $10 bill, my change. He had to bend over to get into his tent. I followed, as terrified and excited as anybody in the whole entire world, including Russia, has ever been. Inside the tent was magic. There was a pillow on the ground that I was supposed to sit on and a little table. I sat and he climbed onto the table, breathing hard from the exertion, and he drew up his dress slowly for reasons of either suspense or being a total old man, revealing first legs made of the same stuff as his face and hands, and then the reason I'd walked for miles and paid my money, there below his sunken stomach and prevalent rib cage, surrounded by a halo not unlike that on his head, was not just, yes, a nearly unfathomable lack of penis, but a bright red rose hanging upside down in its place. I stared in awe until the man, judging that my time was up, lowered his dress as slowly as it had gone up. "Thank you," I said and put my hand out to shake. He just smiled and pointed to the exit. "Dude, did you see it?" Belle had eaten my snow cone, but that was okay. He had just allowed me to experience maybe the best thing I ever saw in my life, so I was too grateful to think he was a jerk for eating my snow cone, though that is really a jerk thing to do, you know? I'm over it. Whatever. I gave him the $10 bill and he walked up to the man, and shaking together like they were doing it on purpose, they ducked into the tent. Belle stayed in there longer than I had, and while I was waiting for him to emerge reborn, a clown approached and handed me a bright yellow balloon that said the Starvation Box in bubble letters. And I, licking the pink syrup residue out of my paper cone, could not figure out what that meant, nor would the clown say. When Belle came out, he came out fast, holding tight to a bright red flower and screaming, "Run!" Behind him, the old man, face so angry, scarier than scariest vampire, came running faster than a withered old man ought to run. I let go of my balloon when the man caught Belle, and as he threw him to the ground, standing hard on his hand to keep him in place, as he pried the rose free, pounding Belle's face with his old man fist, I stared up at my balloon as it shrank into the sky. It was me and Belle Cardinal walking down the dried-out riverbed, dirt cake split in geometric patterns in a circus tent shrinking behind us if we cared to look, Belle's face bloody and missing 7 teeth, most of which were baby teeth anyway, so it wasn't so bad and well worth it, said Belle. And Belle was talking about how he couldn't move his hand. He was all, look at that. Look at that. Damn. Upon deducing from global conditions that the world would soon end, we took fertility drugs and produced quintuplet boys. As each was born, cleaned, and handed to me, I kissed him on his forehead and said, "Welcome. Enjoy what will be a remarkable show." It was the end of the world, and as everyone moved to the places they wanted to die, I tried to convince my friends that here was the best place to be. They were sucked to the coasts, my wife caught in their glittering curl. She asked that I keep the children, which were my sick idea. 4 were geniuses, the 5th an idiot. My suspicions were confirmed when, on their 5th birthday, I took them out of the city to see the stars. The 4 understood and became so terrified that they dropped dead. The 5th could not grasp the implications. Together we hoisted the bodies of his brothers into the trunk of my car. He, tripping and stumbling, was only able to carry the smallest. As he leaned against the back tire, out of breath, he asked, "Daddy, what are those lights in the sky?" My answer then was sharp. "They're stars. Get in the car." Years later, I told him everything I knew about the universe. Catastrophe among stars and people. When I finished, he said, "Dad, that is beautiful." He always was the stupid one. My father has an idea. He may have heard it somewhere, but he tells it like it's his own. The world is a ball mill, and we are the rocks inside, grinding against each other until the rough spots are worn away, and we are polished smooth. I disagree. Reality is a very literal hell, and we are all demons that cannot help but torture each other. It is a well-designed hell requiring no maintenance. We will not rise above it. We will not create a utopia. We will never escape. Reincarnation is not a comforting idea. It is a feature of a well-designed hell by which we are forced to be born and to die perpetually, and to never gain any more wisdom than a single lifetime can bring. We will never be polished, and the grinding will never end. You should have seen the love of my life. When I tell you that she was the love of my life, it is imperative that you understand the significance. It would take hours to make that real to you, but it will have to suffice for me to give you a moment in which to make that real for yourself. Take your time. Her mother was schizophrenic. In her childhood, roles were reversed. She took care of her crazy mother, nursed her, pacified her in her fits, made sure that she stayed alive and healthy. I will admit that this could not have been easy. I will admit that college and independence must have come as a relief from torture. That should be real as well. Take your time. When I told her that I was afraid that I was crazy, she laughed as though I was joking. When I told her that I recognized in myself the symptoms of schizophrenia, she blinked. I was taking a psychology course. I exhibited every symptom of paranoid schizophrenia down to the doodles of isolated parts of the body. I was having delusions of a supernatural nature, like her mother. The night was cold. There was snow on the ground. She opened her mouth. She wailed. I tried to hold her, but she fought me. I sat down in the stiff snow which soaked into my pants. My fingers ached from the cold. They were red. I can't blame her. I gave her one of the worst moments of her life. We ground together in the worthless ball mill. There were stars, as many as can be seen in a small city. I sank my bare hands into the snow and looked up at them as she continued to scream. For the first time, I recognized the significance of the atomic fire stars and the light years of cold and darkness in between. Recognized the hellish texture of the universe, emptiness and fire. Take your time. I want a life, by which I mean to say I want to be a prize fighter, architect, brain surgeon. I want to carve my fingernails into surgical tools and sew hearts into children. I want to solve a Rubik's Cube. I want to be the love of everyone's life. I want to meet a girl named Matilda, a name that is a kiss and a lick of the teeth. Players take note, I just scored points with any girl named Matilda. I want to go on Jeopardy. I want to buzz in first on ancient Egyptians worship these animals because they controlled the rodent population and say, how do you minimize an ancient culture's belief in the divinity of cats to make your own beliefs in divinity seem more valid? I want Alex to call me a punk. I want him to pull a knife. I want him to stab my belly 3 times as the studio audience cheers. I want them all to throw me in the alley to die. I want to tremble and moan. And that's where I want to meet Matilda. I want her to smoke like a chimney, like fresh air would kill her, lighting each cigarette from the last. I want curling auburn tresses to bounce around her face. I want her in jeans and a flannel circa 1994. I want an overbite and eyes a little too close together. I want her to burn with hypnotic light, gorgeous and prepared with knitting needles and burgundy yarn. I want her to sew me up as best she can and support me over her shoulder as I bleed in agony for 10 miles on foot to the hospital through slums that border palaces. When the doctor is shocked by the clotted yarn and the mess she's made of my guts. When he says, holy shit. That's when I want to fall in love with Matilda. I want to be in a coma for 3 weeks, and I want her to stay by my side. I want her to leave once to get a soda so that I wake up feeling cold and alone to see a news report about baby dragons hatching all pink and slimy in mountains all over the world. I want to live a life with her that we, you and I, cannot understand. I want to trade love letters that don't mention love, twin homosexual peacocks forever facing with plumage unfolded, wooing eternally with shapes and patterns. I want raging, shouting matches. I want to hitchhike across continents, setting fire to every place we sleep, and 20, maybe 30 years down the road, I want her to develop lung cancer. And I want to hold her hand in the hospital as she trembles and moans and smokes. I want to tell her that even with her cancer patient eyes and concave cheeks, even without her curling auburn tresses, she burns with hypnotic light. Then I want to ask if I am the love of her life, and I want her to turn her eyes away. I want her to say, there was this boy when I was 15. And I want to let go of her hand and leave her to die. I want to hate myself for the rest of my life. I want to spend every shaking night apologizing to her ghost. I want to die at the age of 106, piloting my jet fighter into the heart of a curling, gargantuan gold and purple dragon. I want my last thought as I enter its body to be a delusion that I am a penis hurtling through an infinitely deep vagina. I want to be cremated. I want my ashes released in orbit and to sparkle upon re-entry. I want a satellite tower to send a radio signal into space with the message that Earth is still mourning my death. I want a global apocalypse. I want all life obliterated except for the creatures that live at the bottom of the sea on the heat of the core of the Earth. In 3 billion years, I want aliens to come and ask the life that has evolved to the surface of the charred remains of our world, who is Arlen Lawson. I want there to be a heaven. I want there to be a God. I want to strut past literal gates through hordes of naked virgins with pearl-colored wings all singing my name. I want to meet God. I want it to be like a warm mist surrounding me. I want to fall into the platonic ideal of a father's loving arms and weep. I want God to whisper, "There, there, there, there," in a voice that is soft, forgiving, apologetic, and Matilda's. 1983. He rode his Italian motorbike into the desert, and we've heard this before. I might as well mention the coyote's carcass, rotted hairless in plastic, a broken bottle scattered across the interstate in a flash of moonlight. I'd tell you he wanted free, but you've come to that conclusion. He also wanted a cigarette. There was one in a pack in his jacket pocket, a symbol. He had no way to light it, no matches, no lighter, no flint and steel. I should let you inside his head. Free from magic called science and spells we use but don't understand. Free from wizards who enslave us with magic candy. The desert you've never seen fascinates you. Cacti look just like they do in cartoons. Why does the hideous desert call to anyone? In 1983, I almost died in the desert. What's your excuse? Where were we? He rode his Italian motorbike into the desert, and we've heard this all before. I might as well mention the woman and 3 children, dehydrated zombies, incapacitated by the heat, the woman staggering and scraping wide crescents in the sand as the eldest boy led deeper into the desert, his thumb out as the man passed, the 3-year-old boy trailing behind, wailing, "Wait, up, wait." Who's my point of view character? The man on the motorbike. He can't hear the boy screaming over the combustion engine on which his freedom from technology depends. The woman can't hear him, nor can his siblings, sister 5 and brother 7. No one can hear the boy except himself and the versions of himself that permeate time into the present. 1983. You don't hear him screaming. You hear the engine in the motorbike. You see the family in the headlight, but you do not think about the sweat and ash death that happens in hours here. You don't think about freezing as the night gets colder because you're too busy listening. Free from magic called science and spells we use but don't understand. Free from wizards who enslave us with magic candy. Cigarette. He stopped on the shoulder. He pulled out the pack, flipped open the top, and stared at the cigarette. He thought about chewing it. He thought about rubbing sticks together for hours to make fire. He found a curling stick, rough and brittle. It rattled. He thought about breaking it in half, thought about stripping the bark for kindling. He unscrewed the fuel cap on his motorbike and dipped in the stick. It came out wet and shining, smelling of gasoline. He took out the spark plug and reattached the wires. He started the bike. A tiny spark and blue fire licked the gasoline. He lit his cigarette with a torch. He stared at the cylinder of ash that grew on the ember. The youngest boy approached. I lost my family. I left mine behind. Why are you here? I die in the desert. 1983. I will always die in the desert.